Now we are recording.
Okay.
Good evening, little witchlings. Welcome to our channel. This is Tammy from Tammy's Nail Techniques, and I am one of the Witchy Sisters. The other two Witchy Sisters are here as well. Say hello, ladies. Introduce
Hello.
yourselves.
Hello.
Hello.
Introduce yourselves, please.
I am Jonna from Jonna's Place. I'm also one of the Witchy Sisters.
And I'm Char from Char's Fascination.
Star, where are you?
She's right there.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay.
I'm Char from Char's Fascination, otherwise your kitchen witch.
Can you hear her at all?
Yes, I can.
Okay, well, I can't hear her.
I'm trying to shift the screen layout to where it's got you big and me little.
Right.
And
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay.
At
So,
blank.
all right. You ready, Char? Introduce
Yeah.
yourself to the people, please.
Yeah. Go ahead, Char.
Who's going first here?
I done introduced myself.
I did introduce myself.
Okay, I still cannot hear her.
I'll
can
go
hear her.
out.
Okay. Okay, so what I thought we would start with tonight for our first actual video on here, something really simple. We didn't get a chance to do it last night because we couldn't get it set up properly, but you have 3 days before the new moon or 3 days after. So we are still in that waning phase of the moon. Last night was the new moon, and now we are in a waning, or actually we're in a waxing crescent right now. But you're still drawing on that new moon energy from yesterday. So what we're going to be doing is a very simple spell, sort of like a banishing, to let go of things or habits or feelings, bad habits, whatever doesn't serve you anymore. Anything that is negative feelings about yourself, negative habits that you have, all of that. We're just doing a spell to release those things, okay, and bring in good things, okay. So
Yep.
it's sort of like a banishing.
Yes.
And I'm using for reference, just for reference. Not this is not in any way a copy of the spell in the book. This is coming from the Encyclopedia of 5,000 Spells by Judica Illis. Okay. And this is her on the page. This is her botanical banishing spell. Okay. Okay.
Sorry, I had to have a drink.
Oh, you're fine. I've got both of my cups here too. Okay, so let me run through what we have first so that if you want to follow along or write it down or whatever, you'll have everything. Okay, so I have a regular mortar and pestle. I have a regular 7-day white candle. You can also use the little votive candles or the little tea lights, and or a votive candle. You can use those as well, or a chime candle. You know, it's about yay big.
Yeah.
Okay. I have my little witchy crystal spoon.
My phone, it won't let me open it.
Meredith, don't worry. I'm recording it and I'll be setting it as a premiere for tomorrow, okay?
Okay, and then we have our electric lighter for the candle. For those of you who are new to spiritual practice, Dory got home okay. She just texted me. A white candle is basically an all-purpose candle, and it's used for a lot of different things. But basically, when you don't have a corresponding color candle for the magic you're trying to do, then white always works. Okay. Everything has already been cleansed and
It's okay.
consecrated, which is something you want to do. I've already done my grounding, and I've already cleansed my space, and I've already cast my circle. Okay, which are some things that you want to have in place. We'll go more into depth about those things and energy manipulation and things like that. Learning to focus your energy in later videos coming up. Okay, so the next thing I have is a piece of parchment paper. You can use a brown bag if you don't have any of that, or joss paper, or you can use what they call burn paper, which is basically like old-timey tracing paper or onion paper. You could use that. Or worst case scenario, you don't have to use it at all. I'm just giving you options. Um, or you could just use a regular piece of paper. Okay. I have just a plain old pen that I'm going to be using to write with. Okay. Nothing special with the pen. I have 3 whole, full-ish bay leaves. Okay. And you can also, we're going to be writing our intentions on these bay leaves. Okay. But like I said, you can also write them on the paper, or you can put a sigil on your paper if that's what you want. We'll be going over sigil making as well. Okay. All right. Let me show you. I have 2 oils that we're going to be anointing the top of my candle with. I have the magician oil, okay, which is good for manifestation, dealing with spells that have to do with your will or someone else's, and taking action, which is everything that we want to do in this spell. Okay. And then I also have dragon's blood oil, which just amplifies your spell work. Okay. All right. So the dry ingredients that I have, or my herbs that I have, is rue, which you can see that's good for cleansing, hex breaking, healing, exorcism, protection, and the evil eye. Okay. We're going to be using it as the cleansing and healing aspects of it. Next thing that I have is the mullein. I guess that's the way you say it. It's good for banishing and protection and health. So we're going to be using that as well. And then I also have some frankincense resin, which is good for protection, purification, and healing. Okay. So we're going to be using that. Now you can either burn that if you want, or I'm going to be putting a few little resin pieces in the mortar and pestle. Okay. And using that to anoint the candle. And then I have, last but not least, I have hyssop, which is also mentioned quite a few times in the Bible, being used for cleansing and purification, for healing, and to remove negativity, which is exactly what the spell is all about. Okay. So first off, I'm going to take my white candle, my 7-day white candle, and I'm going to take just a few drops of my oil. I'm going to shake them up, okay, to get the magic flowing. Then I'm just going to take a couple of drops of each one of my oils on my fingertip.
Real quick, where'd Jonna go?
We're still here, honey. I just put her on solo so everybody can
Oh,
see
okay.
her.
And I'm just going to go around the inside of my candle, okay? Very little. You don't need a lot. And then I'm going to always close your bottles back up so you don't knock them over like I do.
You also don't want to let
And
their
the next, I'm going to take the dragon's blood, and we're going to do the same thing with that. Shake it up to get the magic wakened up. And we're just going to anoint the top of the candle with that. Very little bit. Don't go too crazy. Or else you're liable to start a fire. And we wouldn't want that. Always practice fire safety, everyone. Okay. And this is just a 7-day candle I got at the dollar store. Okay. So you don't have to go out and spend buku. You don't even have to have any of this. First off, let me just say, this is all about your will, your intent, your mind. Okay. You don't need any of this stuff to be able to manifest what you want. Okay. It's sort of like doing Lamaze breathing when you're pregnant and you're in labor. It just gives you a focal point, something to channel your energy into. Okay. All right. So now that we've done the oils, I'm going to put this right back here. Whoopsie. I'm going to get my mortar and pestle. And I'm going to start putting some of the hyssop in there, assuming that I can open the thing. And Miss Opal is awake. She wanted to join too.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I'm not using much because we don't want to drown the candle. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the mullein. I can't get the cork out of the mullein. And all of these herbs here are from White Raven and the Witch's Lair. If you haven't checked her out, go and do that. She's also got an online store. Okay. So that's the mullein. You put in what feels right to you, but you don't want to drown your candle because it could cause it to go out prematurely. It could catch on fire. This is the rue. So say you want to give up smoking, or say you want to give up chocolate, or whatever. This bless you. And this is my frankincense resin. I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of that in there. Be careful when you're burning your resins and your incenses if you have animals or children, small children, because especially things with cinnamon and like hot foot powder, things like that, that you might, those kinds of incenses or resins or whatever, they can be very irritating, especially to pets and children. Okay. Also to your eyes and you. So just be careful. Okay. So now that we've got that, I'm going to move this just a hair because I don't want you guys to be able to see me. All right. I don't have any makeup on today. And the resin is not hard. Now, if you go to burn this resin, and if you don't have any frankincense, incense sticks, you can burn this resin on one of the little charcoal discs on a fire safe incense burner, and it will burn just fine that way too. And you can incorporate that into the spell. Okay. All right. So now that we've done that, I'm just going to take a little bit of this and we're going to anoint our candle or sprinkle this around the candle. Now that we put the oil there, just very little bit, not much at all. And you want to tell your herbs what you want from them. Okay, as you're putting them in, or as you can do it all at one time once you get them on the candle. Either way, okay. Called charging your work with intent. Okay. Now, like I said, at this point, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not too much. You can also add crystals too. I just did not this evening. But selenite would be good. Purple amethyst would be good. Let's see, some rose quartz would be good because this has to do with self-love. Okay. That's just a few crystals you can use. Now, like I said, you could either write you want to say it like, I have given up chocolate. I feel better now that I've given up chocolate. Something simple and to the point. Okay. Say it like you've already done it, like it's already happened. Okay. All right. So once you do that, you can either write that on your bay leaves, okay, which is what I'm going to do. So, well, I can't get my pen to write now. Isn't that always the way when you get ready to do something?
Yeah.
Or you can, if you're using a chime candle, you can always carve it into your candle. Okay. All right. So, I'm just writing, gave up chocolate. Okay. For purposes of this. Okay. So there's one. Then we're going to take the second one. Gem more frequently. Okay. And let's put practice self affirmations. Can
I'm
you
glad
see okay,
somebody
Donna?
knows these words. Yes, ma'am.
If I'm leaving anything out, jump in. That's what you guys are here for. I can't hear Sean at all, but I can hear you.
Okay.
Because I
Okay.
wasn't talking. Can
So
you
here
hear me,
are
Shannon?
3 bay leaves. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you can either, like I said, we're going to be burning them this evening. Okay. But similarly, you can also, as long as you have something that's fireproof, like a plate or a silver tray or something, put your candle in the center. You can put your resin around the outside and your herbs if you choose to do it that way. And your 3 bay leaves. You could put one like, make them in the shape of an isosceles triangle. Okay. So you'd put one up here and then one here and one here. That makes sense? Okay.
Yeah.
But for tonight's purpose, we're gonna burn them.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do first, I'm gonna try to get this wick up. I'm gonna. Now I've already, like I said, I've already cleansed and I've already, come on, you. There we go. There we go. Now, when you're using 7-day candles like that in glass, it there is always a possibility that, especially if your spell runs into any interference or by somebody else working you banefully at the same time, if it runs into any interference, or if the spell goes exceptionally well, they have been known to explode. Okay, the glass can break from the
Yeah.
heat. And
Mm-hmm.
so just be very mindful of that. Don't leave it alone. Make sure you're watching it constantly. Okay, now we've used our herbs and our oils on the candle. So what you want to do is you want to focus your intent. Focus on what you want, what you're trying to get rid of. And it works the same way pretty much with people and neighbors or old boyfriends or whoever you're trying to get rid of. But you want to focus on what you're trying to release that no longer serves you. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Which is what I wrote on the bay leaves for myself. Okay.
Okay.
Then you want to you want to do a series of 4 deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, hold it for a count of 4, and then inhale a count of 4, exhale a count of 4, and hold it for a count of 4, and do that 4 different times. Okay. Once you have grounded and cleared yourself, which is what you're doing, you want to, and like I said, we should have probably explained that first. But when you ground and center, you basically imagine that you are pulling energy from the earth through you, up through your feet, up through your legs and your body, and out through your arms and your hands, or your
And
wand, or
don't
athame, or
forget
whatever
your
it is you're
palms
using.
have to be
Okay.
up.
Normally
Right.
it's your hands.
Right.
Okay. So a lot of times you can rub your hands together, clap them a couple of times, get the energy flowing. Okay. Then you want to concentrate on the flame of the candle. Oops.
It's okay.
Okay. Flame of the candle. Okay. And you don't have to say anything fancy. I don't have a particular chant. You just want to focus your intent on no more than 3 things that you're trying to release. Okay. Negative thoughts, feelings, whatever. Okay. No more than 3. We don't want to confuse things too much. So that is what I am doing now. And once you think that you have gotten all of the energy and the feeling out of you through your hands to the candle, you can stop chanting, or whatever it is that you want to do. Not everybody chants. And then what we're going to do is the next thing we're going to do is take our, whoopsie, sorry about that, you guys. We're going to knock it over. I'm going to get my ashtray here. Move that over just slightly. Okay. This opal is talkative,
Yes.
and we are going to burn these basil leaves. Okay. And that's another way to set loose your intention. So when you use the candle, you're not only, the candle represents earth, okay? And the flame represents fire. And of course, the smoke represents your air element, okay?
Mhm.
So in this case, we're going to burn the bay leaves. And as they burn, that incorporates the fire element. And the smoke will also incorporate the air element and carry your manifestations and your will to the universe. Okay.
Yeah.
This local gutter.
Can you see that, Donna?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes to both questions, Char's and yours.
I can't hear Star at all. So
I don't know why. I can hear her good
Me
and
either.
clear.
I can hear both of y'all.
I know.
I may
Whose
have to use a
channel is this
regular
on
light.
anyway? I looked it up and
Yeah.
Jonna,
Yes, here.
whose channel are we running this on?
The witches.
Ellie.
The Witchy
I looked
Sisters.
it up and it wasn't there.
All right, let me
It's
see if I
not
can
going to be
find
there and it being recorded
my
right now
other
for
lighter here.
premiere.
Ooh. Hold on, I'm gonna try to get my other lighter here. Because that is not working for that, or either of these bay leaves are old. It's what you get from buying stuff from Etsy instead of fresh from the supermarket.
I get mine fresh from the supermarket.
I get some of my stuff fresh from the supermarket.
I've got your all's stuff ready.
Well, you should be getting your stuff anytime now.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm not worried about it. It'll
Yeah.
get here when it gets here.
Okay. Now, when you get ready, you can work this as many times as you want. While the moon is in the waning phase, which right now it's in waxing, but we still have that grace period 3 days before or 3 days after the new moon. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you want to continue to work it until the 3 days is up, you can do that. Just make sure that I've always heard that me personally, I blow my candles out because my astrological sign Libra is an air element. Okay. So I
Mhm.
choose to invoke the air element by blowing out the candle. That way my breath carries the intention out to the universe. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mhm.
But I've heard it both ways. You can either snuff out your candle, whichever resonates with you. Everybody's practice is going to look different. Everybody's going to have their own way of doing things. Like I said, you in no way need all of this stuff. Most of these herbs and things can you can find at the grocery store, and the oil. Worst case scenario, you can use olive oil or coconut oil.
Yep.
Okay, so you don't
Mhm.
have to have any fancy oils either.
Right.
Okay, it's all about something to focus your intent on. Okay,
Yep.
now the
Mhm.
key is once you've burned your petitions, your bay leaves, or your brown paper, whichever it happens to be, and once you've snuffed out your candle or blown it out, whichever you want, you need to forget about that. Okay, everything that you just wrote down needs to be as forgotten as possible. Okay, because
Yeah.
you've sent it out into the universe, and now it needs to leave your subconscious and your consciousness.
Mhm.
Okay,
Right. Mhm.
so do your very best not to keep thinking and dwelling on what you're trying to get rid of, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to get something to drink. Okay, so anything? Does anybody have any questions,
No.
comments, suggestions? Constructive criticism is always welcome. I'm fairly new. I'm a intermediate witchling, I suppose. I've been doing this about 3 years, I guess, but I've always been drawn to it. Um, and my mother apparently was always drawn to it. Now that I look back on some things that happened when I was a kid and things she used to tell me and this, that, and the other. Yeah. So, but anybody can do this. You don't have to be a born witch or a generational witch or a hereditary witch. You don't have to have special powers. None of that. We all have the ability. Nikola Tesla said so himself. Okay, the world works on frequencies. And as long as you vibrate at a high enough frequency, and we'll go through all this later, as we go down the road here, we'll go more in depth on topics. Um, but as you, I forgot what I was seeing. My
We're
train of
talking
thought
about
just jumped the
vibration.
track.
Oh, I
Um,
know how that goes.
yep, it just derailed totally. Anyway, um, as
She was
long as
talking about
you
vibrations and
try to
energy
keep your
resonating.
frequency as high and be as, and I'm not talking about being goody goody, but I'm talking about doing good things, having a good heart.
Yeah.
That's part of keeping your frequency high.
Mhm.
Okay. And if you do that, you not only protect yourself from any um bad intentions that people might be sending your way, or evil or jinxes, anything like that, or you know, but you also ward off any maleficent entities and that type of thing that might want to attach themselves to you, because the lower your frequency is, the more you resonate. There's a reason why the saying goes, as above, so below. Okay.
Mhm.
As within, so without.
Yes.
So basically, there are three planes. You have the upper plane or the heavenly plane, however you want to look at it. And yes, I was baptized when I was 17 and I was raised a Southern Baptist. And
Mhm.
I try to incorporate all that into my work. There's a middle plane, which is what we are on. And
Mhm.
then there's the lower plane, the underworld.
Which one is
Okay.
purgatory?
um, and
Char had
yes,
a
ma'am.
question.
Yes, ma'am.
Wanted to know which one was purgatory.
Who asked that?
Char.
I did.
Oh, actually, Shar, to be honest, I'm not a pastor or anything. That would be a good question for Jonna to field.
Well, me too.
Because honestly, I'm just telling you what I remember growing up. And I couldn't tell you. I know
She
purgatory
doesn't
is
know we
somewhere
both went,
between
right?
before you get to hell or heaven, right?
Mhm.
While they're deciding where you should go.
Yeah.
But what plane that is on, I can't tell you.
I believe
That
it's the one we live in now. She
as
doesn't know that we're both universal.
right.
You should
I
tell her
actually
that.
believe it's in the ground.
It
When you're
could be
waiting to
because your soul is on the plane
right,
of the in between when
Nobody
you're
can hear
yeah,
Shar, I don't think. At
right.
least I can.
Now me and Char both are ministers of the Universal Life Church.
Nice.
Mine
I
is
didn't.
through
I,
that, and I'm a Wiccan Christian preacher.
okay. I didn't
yeah,
know Shar was
both
a,
are.
a preacher as well.
Yes, ma'am.
So then why did you ask me that question, Shar? You ought to know.
She just
Because
wanted to bring it
different
up.
people have
Well, it's a
different
good question.
opinions of
Seriously. I
purgatory.
mean, and like
Yes.
I've always said here on this channel as well as my nail channel, if I don't know the answer to a question, one of the other ladies is bound to.
Well, one of us will look it up if we have to.
Yep.
Well, it's because different people have different
Right.
thoughts about what purgatory
Okay, so
actually is.
anybody else have any
Yes.
questions or do you want to add anything?
Not at this moment. Char, do you need to add anything on here?
No,
Okay. Are we closing?
In just a minute, I want to put a little disclaimer out there.
Okay.
Magic is not anything like what you see on television. Yes,
or in the
it
movie.
is based on history and on fact, but they also embellish quite a lot for dramatic effect. Okay? Magic is not like Harry Potter when
Right.
you are rubbing a lamp and getting a genie. You can work with gems. Okay? Um, it's not instant gratification.
Right.
Okay? You also have to be willing to put forth the effort to do the mundane work.
Yes.
And let the magic take its course. It's
Mhm.
not just going to present you with whatever you wish for, and boom, it's going to fall in your lap.
Yeah. Also, not all magic is black magic.
That's right.
No, it's not.
Magic
And
has the ability to be either light or dark, and
Yes.
the three of us are light workers.
Right.
Okay, um,
I might look
and
dark, but I'm
that's not
not.
to say that you can't do a banishing spell, or a binding.
Right.
Okay, and but do it on behalf of someone else that you're trying to protect.
Right.
Okay. In which case, that's not being evil. That's
No.
not black magic. You are doing it as a protection for someone that you love or care
Right.
about.
Right. And that is what we're all about is love
Yes, it is.
and kindness and protection
Harmony.
and harmony and taking care of the earth and
Hmm.
each other.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me. So, any closing thoughts, girls?
I
Just
know
try
Tammy
to
can,
keep your heart pure and your energy high. And, hopefully everything will work out the way you like. But you
Okay.
have to do the work.
Okay. Now, Char, your turn.
I know Tammy can't hear me, but
Yeah, I
anyway,
know.
when you
I'm
set
sorry, I
your
can't hear.
intention, when you set your intentions, make sure you clear your mind. You do a meditative, like Tammy was saying, but it is a meditative cycle of grounding and connecting with what you want. When you do that, make sure your palms are up in your on your knees specifically. If you want to know how I know this, is because I used to help with a meditation class, and when I resonated my energy, everybody else was more relaxed. They were tense when they came in. When you do the breathing, you can do either the labored breathing or you just take the breath in and just let it out through your mouth, like what Tammy was saying.
Yes.
And then you do that 3 times,
Mm-hmm.
focus on just letting everything go. That's all you ever have to do.
Right.
And then when you do your ritual intentions, make sure you have no negative thoughts, no negative energy. Let it go. Let your blessings be as
Mm-hmm.
they will be willed.
Yes.
And remember to always do a open blessing for any of your friends or any of your intentions, even if it's yourself and or your home. Always
Right.
bless your home on a daily basis.
Yep.
And on the Christian side, when you do a prayer, you're actually setting an intention out into the universe. And remember, when you do something with energy, it does reflect back on you.
Yes. Definitely. I agree with you there 100%. And I agree with Tammy 100%. And you've always got to have a clear, open mind for anything
Yeah.
to work.
Yes, ma'am.
Whether it be prayer, whether it be magic, whatever.
It's called
And
faith.
yes, it is
Yeah,
called
Yeah.
faith. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you ain't got no faith, you ain't got nothing.
Exactly.
exactly.
Right.
You should
Okay.
even have faith in
All
yourself.
right, you guys. So I'm
Your
going to give you
intention.
my standard log off,
Mm-hmm.
which is stay safe and stay well. And wishing you nothing but love and light. Thank you for being here with us tonight.
Yes,
Yes. Blessed be everybody, and we shall see you on the
blessed
next
be.
round.
Blessed day.
Love yous. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.